Okay, says we're live. Hello, welcome. I realized today that my watch is behind by about 2.5 minutes, so I'm going to have to adjust that. So apologies. While I get everything that should have been up. Is that today's? Yes. Okay, did I come into the right one? For August 18th, yes. Okay. There we go. Okay. I'm not sure exactly how much of that came through. Anyway, hello. How are we? I just got done saying that I'm not entirely sure if my watch has been 2 minutes behind for the whole time, like the last month or so, or if that's been a recent thing. So in either way, I apologize, and I'm going to fix my watch. And if it needs a new battery, then I will have to sort that out. Okay. So, oh, darn it. I'm trying to remember if I don't think I did. I was trying to think if I had written down the poll options for today or not, but I don't think I did anywhere other than underneath the video. Okay, so let's do this again. Pop this out. Sorry, y'all. Sometimes I feel like I'm discombobulated, and today is one of those days. Poll question. Your character is running late to a meeting. Why? Question mark. Traffic/accident. Yes, Monique. Mondays, am I right? Exactly. They had a meet cute at the coffee shop. Their kid had a meltdown. And they were dealing with that. Or they were saving the city/world. Why is your main character late to the very, very important meeting? That's the question. Okay. Now we can say hello. Jody says, hello, my character's running to a meeting because she refuses to go to them, which is a very valid answer. Most meetings could have been an email anyway, right? Monique says, hey, y'all. Hello. Welcome. You're polishing your formatting manuscript. Polishing up the formatted manuscript of My Ex is a Vampire. Nice. Excellent. Francis is here. Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Monique says, I lost the progress I made from last week. Oh, no. For some reason, technology, gremlins, but you managed to rewrite your acknowledgments and about the author pages and make sure to back up your progress. Good. I'm glad you have a backup now. Hopefully that will not happen again. I'm going to knock on wood, cross my fingers. That will not happen for you again. Sharon is here. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. Mondays feel like the bane of my existence, but I don't know if that's actually because Mondays are statistically somehow more complicated, or if because through schooling and work we are trained to feel like Monday is kind of a drag away from more fun activities of the weekend. I don't know. I feel like it's probably just more like we're trained into that. And it's probably just another day. But there are some Mondays that just feel like Mondays. Jody says, my goodness, I'm so happy to say I feel human again today. Yay! Unless you were a dragon, in which case I'm sorry, because being a dragon would be way cooler than being human. Kara says, I'm starting to feel more like myself after stopping that ghastly medication that I was using. Oh, good. Okay. You were only on it for 2 weeks, but you think it took 2 years off your life. Ugh. Yeah. Sometimes new medication just they don't agree with us. But that's part of like finding the right treatment, unfortunately, is trying the ones that the doctor thinks could work. And then telling the doctor, no, my body is too special. We need something else. So Kara says, my new character, Jude, is the kind of guy who wants to save the world. So he's the hero type. Okay, so his answer in that case would be they were saving the city / world. Gotcha. Stay says, I'm in the same place I was last Monday, just in reverse. So you are driving home today. Is that what I am gathering from the context clues? Kara says, Monday is really just another day, but we're trained to see it in a certain way. Yeah. I feel like that's probably what's happening. Stace says, I read 2 pages of my story while on vacation. Hey, it's 2 pages, right? 2 pages you didn't read, or two more pages than you could have read. So either way, 2 pages is progress. Let's see. What has happened in the last over the weekend? Bestie is still in the hospital. A little bit of good news, a little bit not great. So it's sort of like meh. At the moment, she and baby number 2 are stable. So that's good. I will take it. But otherwise, sort of like long-term prognosis feels a little bit more complicated now. Prognosis, is that the right word I want? Potential long-term side effects got more complicated for Bestie. We'll say that. But I did talk to one of our other besties who's in Japan, and her baby. So yeah, I had a little bit of a girl chat, which was nice to have. We try to have them about every 3 weeks, where we're like dedicated, make sure we like try and talk to each other. And it was just a little bit of a hard catch up this time because our other besties were not on the phone call, obviously, because one of them is in the hospital. The other one was traveling, so. But it was very nice to see her and her baby. This is sometimes really hard about keeping your friends and family who don't want to be like talked about on the internet. It's like I really should create code names for them. Like Stacy has Karma and Monster, I should create code names for my different besties, of which I have 3, and their babies, of which there are now 3 babies. So one of them is no longer technically a baby. She is now 3, but she's still a baby. And one is a little over 18 months. And then we have the brand spanking newbie who is in the NICU. So yeah, so it's like I need to create code names for them so that I can talk about them without, just saying bestie and baby, because there are more than one bestie and more than one baby. So, but it's like, and also like I call my mom, Mama Dawdler sometimes. So I try not to talk about people who have not consented to be talked about on the internet, which is something that like I didn't think I would ever be doing, like trying to figure that kind of stuff out, because I didn't ever think I would be on the internet. But yeah, but I guess it gives me an opportunity to create cool nicknames, right? So, um, Kara says, I had the right treatment for my diabetes. The doctor thought the other thing would help with the inflammation, which you do have a problem with. It did not help and it nearly killed you. Oof. Yikes. Yeah, that's one of the things that my dad has struggled with, um, being put on blood pressure medicine. Um, like the typical things that the doctor would try all cause an increased significant swelling in his feet and ankle and make him a fall risk. So having to navigate that is a little bit of a chaotic show. Monique says, I chose traffic for the answer of the poll because in my ex's vampire, vampires only come out at night. Nice. Stay says, yes, we are on our way home. We should be back around dinner time. Excellent. Kara says, my aunt fell and fractured her pelvis. Ooh, ouch. She's also having a transfusion for low iron. She's 80 years old, so a bit fragile. Yeah. Yeah. And it's hard because once they start to fall, then they go into the hospital and then they're more susceptible to like bronchitis and pneumonia while they're there or in the rehab unit. And then it becomes a cycle and it's frustrating. So hopefully your aunt heals quickly and doesn't have to stay in a facility where she might catch something. So hopefully she is resilient. You call your godson Little Rogue. Yeah. Stay says, it's the best thing ever having online names for your real life people. Yeah. And I need to do that. So, yeah. Kara says, my son's 35 and he does have an online presence, although he's not aggressive about promoting it. Yes, but does he consent to being talked about by his mother's friends? That feels a little different somehow. Kara says, for hypertension, I've had good luck with irbesartan. And maybe is how you pronounce that. As far as side effects, you also tolerate amlodipine. Your brother doesn't tolerate it. It causes his legs to swell. Yeah. At the moment, he's on something that is a combination of one that he used to take and something else in it. Honestly, couldn't tell you off the top of my head what it is. I'd have to go look at his bottle, but meh. So yeah. C. Wright says, my main character is quite clumsy, though hence the accident vote. Okay, excellent. Yeah. You chose Save the World because you're writing a pre-apocalyptic story. Yes, and they are trying to actively avoid the apocalypse, so... Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't talk about him. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Current main character is running late. They would be running late. It would be sort of like a combination of accident and meet cute. And then, of course, cliche would be like the new boss in charge of the meeting would be the one that they ran into at the coffee shop, but that's not what's going to happen. Cliche says it would, but it's not going to. That's the sort of vibe. So yeah. Let's see. Main character for main character for one of my other stories would kind of be a combination. They were causing an accident on purpose in order to save a group of people. So I think that would be more like they were saving the city slash world. But it is technically they were causing an accident. So meh. A little on both of that, which could be fun. So all right. We do have a brand new spanking timer today. Although same piece of music that we normally have. So I don't know if anybody saw that pop up at 12:30 or not. But we also have the 2 doggos for the day. Stacey says, "Ooh, I may have found someone to do an alpha read of my stories. It was a friend of hubby's, so I partially don't care what she thinks of me." Nice. Excellent. Okay, so the weekend dog is Daisy Ray. She's an activist, and her cause will not be ignored. 13 out of 10. Which side of history will you be on? So Daisy Ray is holding a sign that reads, "Stop breaking treats in half and calling it 2 treats." This is dog discrimination, and she will not stand for it. So who else is going to sign Daisy Ray's petition? And then today's doggo is Taz. You were told he was never just a dog. He sparked his owner's passion for photography by teaching her that moments should be captured and cherished. We are honored to bring you one of these moments. So 14 out of 10, rest easy, Taz. Aww. So Taz is apparently an angel dog at this point. But what a dog. Look at that coat. So pretty. And the heterochromosome for the eyes. Very cute. Very good boys and girls. So cute. Always like the good old dogs. All right, now we need a card for the day. I'm just apparently shoving the card box further and further back into the space underneath laptop. Okay, so we have the bat, and it is in reverse, in the inverse position. So here's our bat, which is a rebirth is assured, but it's in the upside down position. It's number 5. Okay, so we are going to be reading the protection message. But it says upside down bat. Very appropriate. Yes. For my ex is a vampire, I would think this is a very appropriate card. Okay, so the protection message for the inverted bat. What are you refusing to let die? The bat is gently nudging you to let go of your need to cling to this familiar story that has already run its course. A new story is poised to be born. Some dreams were only meant to last for a moment in time. Sometimes they were only there to slow you down as you recalibrated in preparation for the new life that will give you what you really want. Perhaps you need to grieve as you say goodbye to something. At least you're saying goodbye to its familiar form. Perhaps you must let go of a certain part of you that must die so that you can be reborn. This temporary time in the dark doesn't have to be scary or sad. The bat gives you her powers of perception and awareness as you learn to listen deeply and navigate these unknown caves of temporary emptiness. You will emerge with a new perspective, and the bat will witness you giving birth to the life that matches the intentions and desires of your heart and soul. I love that. That's a great card. That's a great card. And I like the idea that some dreams, some relationships, some places, sometimes they're there to teach you something. They're not necessarily there to be there forever. And I like that idea that that whatever it is meant to teach you something, meant to give you something, meant to teach you something. Or as it says, meant to to sort of give you a little pause while you reassess things. But that's a very good card. I like that. Mom Maggie also agrees. That's a good card. Yes. You pulled the Six of Wands from your tarot deck. Six of Wands. View a navigation pane. Six of Wands. Upright is victory, success, acclaim, and validation. Could be messages or messengers. Could also be indicative of a parade of some sort, traditionally. So there you go. CB just got back from the mall. You got your Apple Watch birthday present from the parentals. Birthday isn't until the middle of next month. But it's nice that you get it early. That way you can get used to it. Monique says, I definitely feel like the bat is calling you out because you have to let go of your desire to go to this con. You do not have the money and you sadly can't go by yourself. Gotcha. So you're anticipating fear of missing out. Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, can you plan something fun for the day / weekend of the con so that you have something fun to look forward to instead? Instead of being like, oh, I'm going to miss out on the con, you can look forward to whatever else fun it is that you're going to do. Crafty night with the family or crafty day with the family. Day at the park, something like that. So you're hoping to do with the fam. Gotcha. Pray that the fam and you can do something to take your mind off the fam. Yeah. That'll be nice to do something with the fam, which would be great. And that your mom will have enough energy for all of it. Also true. Yeah. Okay. So we've got the doggos. We've got the card. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my document. Close that one. Pull that back up. All right. And we do have our new timer. So I finally got around to it as promised. It took me a while, but I got around to it. We have the same music as always, but we have the red panda. Yay! So I should probably, here's the link to it in case you would go and hit the like button for me, which I should probably also do. So yeah, we have our first red panda. So CB says, anyone else having issues getting the videos to play or the video to play, or is it just me? I'm not sure. If it starts to get glitchy, let me know. Stace says, Carmen likes it. Great. Excellent. Kara pulled from the Enchanted Map deck. It's number 18, the Magic Stream. Everything is connected through the universal flow of consciousness. Each experience leads to the next. Allow the magic to flow through you and carry your dreams into reality. I like it. Nikki, hello. You're not feeling so good today. Oh no, I'm sorry. Have you hydrated? Have you rested? Chicken noodle soup or water or tea? And then maybe try and put your feet up. Maybe try and take a nap. One of those sleeping eye patches if it's like headache or you can't sleep with the light. You wrote 2K words. Great. It's fantastic for not feeling so good. And you liked it, but you have this sudden feeling that your book is extremely bad. Oh, we've all been there. And it's okay. It's okay because it might just be that you're too into fixing, like, the little things, or there's a plot hole that you're missing. It's okay if you need to step away from it for a while and then come back to it in a couple days, a week or so. If you feel like you're just going to delete the whole thing, but don't do that. Make sure you save it, make sure you have a backup, but it's okay. It's not as bad as you think. I promise. I promise it is definitely nowhere near as bad as you are worrying it is. Carly says, okay, break time's over. Back to work. Exactly. Just in time. Kara says, I have trouble with live streams on my brand new Chromebook laptop. However, I can't do Zooms with your 10-year-old desktop. Gotcha. Stay says, I was, but we are driving through the hills of West Virginia. You're surprised it's not glistening. Yeah, really, for driving through the hills of West Virginia. Hey, that's pretty stable then. Nikki says, I'm a newbie in this writing world and I'm planning to quit your book. No, don't quit it. Don't quit it. You don't have to quit it. If you want to temporarily put it aside and then come back to it, because that is a trick that a lot of people do from finishing the first draft or finishing a chunk of it. Like when you're in the midst of it and you're just like, oh, this is all trash. I promise it's not. It just takes a little bit of perspective. So you can step away from it for a while and then come back to it and it won't look as bad. I promise. It's a whole, like, trust the process type of thing. And it happens to every single one of us for feels like every single book. I promise. So he's going to try and put it on the TV. Okay, thank you so much. You're welcome. You're welcome. But I promise it happens to all of us. It happens. Carla says to Nikki, you can try this. Just write the book for yourself. Not if it's good or it's bad or worth reading or anything else. Just write it and finish it. And when you're done, say, wow, I wrote a book. Yes, which is also a, like, hefty accomplishment that you're like, oh, I did this. And it feels great. So, yes. So the perspective shift is there as well in that. So it's amazing how different you view things after you've done it. Yeah. No, because I, like, fully almost trashed and burned one of the first nano projects that I won with. I was like, it's so bad. I forgot to add the whole, like, section where they're in this academy. I forgot to add the dialogue tags so I don't know who's speaking in the in the scenes anymore. It's all just trash. And I was like, okay, I came back to it and I reread it a while later. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. This isn't too bad. Okay, maybe I'm not as terrible of a writer as I thought. But I promise it happens. It happens to all of us. And you sometimes have to step away and you sometimes have to do what Carla says, just write it and feel that accomplishment. And then you can go back in, and because writing the first draft is its own set of skills, which you have to learn and hone. And you're not going to get it right the first time, and that's fine. And revising and editing your drafts are another set of skills. And again, you're not going to get it right the first time. It takes skill and multiple passes and stuff. And so if you think of it as a series of skills that you are going to have to hone, maybe that will also help. So Kara says, all of my nano projects are irredeemable trash. However, I actually like most of what I write. Yes. We'll just give those nano projects, like, they're the fever dream of writing, right? Carla says, I have 12 short read romances on my Amazon page. None of them are earth-shattering stories of greatness. They are short read paranormal shifter romances, but I wrote them and it makes me smile. Yes, which is fantastic. Carla's like, we don't talk about nano books, to the tune of we don't talk about Bruno. Your wicked dirty books under the double secret probation pen name came out of a nano project. They didn't start that way, but yeah. Yeah. Sometimes really good things come out of Nano, even if it's just I wrote a book, or I wrote 50,000 words, or however much. So, yeah. Nano is definitely a fever dream, though, feels like. So, all right, let's do this. So, 1, save your document. Go ahead and pull it up if you haven't already done so. 2 is take a sip. I've got both coffee and water. So, I'll choose coffee for this sip. Cheers. 3 is straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back for that posture check. And 4 is make sure if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes of our new cute red panda in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. That is the first front. I got 308 words, in addition to a little bit of work in the journals. Oops. How'd we do? Did we do good? Hopefully we did. Doesn't feel like a whole lot, but it's a start. It's okay. I'll take it. Monique is going through and looking for like filler words and clutch words, and is realizing just how much you use the word just. So I asked if Monique had looked up the word that, because that is one of my worst offenders. And so Monique said, that will be up next. Pun intended. Sam is here popping in to say hi and hit the like button and then staying for the panda, the red panda. So I said, the red panda trap is working. Sam admits, well done, I am le-trapped. Settling in to get some work done after running an errand and doing some admin stuff. Excellent. It is Monday, so life admin, all the good stuff has to happen. Stay says, I am most patiently waiting for a rest stop. Context clues, very impatiently waiting. Carla says, I just put my dragon shifter through one of those analysis steps that you have. Yes, it needs a lot of work, but given that you pretty much wrote it just this weekend, is not bad. Yeah, because I think you were outlining yesterday. Yesterday. You were outlining last week and planning for it. So, nice. That, just, then, and well are Sam's. All of your characters begin their sentences with well, apparently. I think so is one of my big offenders in terms of like dialogue starters. That, and I'm so very tempted. Speaking of so's, I'm very tempted to have some of my tongue-in-cheek characters start their explanation of shenanigans with, well, see, what had happened was. But yeah, have not done that because it usually does not fit the context of the stories. Exactly, Sam. Well, so what had happened was Carla's most overused is so. And then just an entire paragraph of just filler words. Yes. Exactly. That's pretty much how it goes sometimes. Yeah. And then when I have a character who is feeling unsure of themselves and wants to reflect that in dialogue, sometimes that does mean just filler words. And yeah. Kara says, mine are just, actually, and really, among others. Monique says, I also noticed that my novel is very dialogue heavy, which is fine because a lot of people really do enjoy dialogue. But having a nice mixture of action and dialogue is great. That's one of the things that there's a couple of things that there's very rarely anymore, I should say. There's very rarely anymore texts that will just keep me like reading chapter after chapter after chapter after chapter when I'm exhausted and tired and I'm already in bed. There's very few that like at this point will make me read all night anymore because I am much more aware that I'm older and I need some sleep. But there were a couple of texts, a couple of manuscripts or translations that were over the last couple of years. I'm like, wow, I'm still like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, it's 3:30. Oh, it's like 4 o'clock. I still one more chapter, just one. And so when I find myself doing that, I really go back in and I look at the text and I'm like, what is it about this particular text that is keeping me going? And sort of looking at it in a much more analytical eye and picking it apart. I mean, obviously, like the complexity of the story and the characters and whatnot are great, but one of the things that I noticed was that it was a really, really nice blend of dialogue and action. Um, I mean, there were portions of the story that were more prose, but that was because there were lots of things happening and the action had to be described, and it was so full of action that it kept you going until the next dialogue, and the dialogue was also great. So it's kind of like a mix of all the right things to get that chicken soup for the soul. It's just really, really good. So if you're reading through it and you find that it is dialogue heavy, um, take another look at it and decide, is this good because the characters are meant to be chatty, meant to be social, meant to be extroverts, and there's enough action in there to continue, uh, then that's fine. But if you feel like you do need a little bit more action, that kind of may demand another last minute revision pass. Um, but yeah, so I've noticed that pacing is very important. Very important, because the goal as a writer is ultimately, making somebody stay up at night to finish your book and going, "One more chapter, one more chapter." But yeah. Stay says, "I don't mind so much if it's in dialogue, but the rest of the story, you try to watch those words for the filler words." Yes. Yeah, and that is very true because we do speak with a lot of filler words. And so if you are trying to make see what I did there? And so if you're trying to mimic real speech patterns, then you do need some of those filler words. I mean, you don't need as much as we probably use on a regular basis. You wonder how you can market that. I think it's fine to have a good chunk of a dialogue. I think it's fine, as long as it is true to the characters. And because I mean, if you have a character that you've written as like stoic and silent, and then they're suddenly chatting page after page after page, that might be out of character. But if your character is chatty and that's what makes them easily lovable, also great. Krush, hello, welcome. Stream Railing came on your feed and you came here to say hi and give some love. Thank you very much. Welcome. We are writers attempting to write whatever it is that we are working on. So if you have something to write or something productivity wise, we will be doing another sprint in a few minutes. Carla says, okay, the program I use for analysis totally did not get a joke. The first time the main characters end up in bed, he accidentally shreds her PJs and says, F it. And she responds, I'd like you to. Nice. And he kissed her before she can say anything more crude. And the AI is like, yeah, that's a little crude for a tender moment. And you're like, AI analysis, that's the point. Yeah. I mean, hey, if it fits the characters and it fits the scene, then that's what you should be using. And yeah, that's the context clues is what AI can't quite read. So, all right. Let's do another sprinty sprint. Should we do the red panda again, or should we switch to the hedgehog? Oh, there we go. Let's see. Carla says hedgehog. All right, let's do the hedgehog. Make it big. All right. So Sam's like, those choices are not right. They're so wrong. Also, don't forget to vote in the poll for your character is running late for a meeting. Why are they late? Did they get into an accident? Was there traffic? Did they have a meet cute at the coffee shop? Did their kid have a meltdown? Or were they saving the city / the world? So don't forget to vote in the poll. And also don't forget to do your writing self-promo this sprint. Just remember, if you don't have a blue wrench, you will not be able to post direct links. So here we go. 1, save your document. 2, take a sip. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4 is make sure if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. What did I have last time? Not even sure. Oh, but I did put a marker. Okay, great. So how much did I get this time? I got 477 this time. And 308. So 308 and 477. 308, and that was in about 25 minutes by the time I was done with that, and 477 in 30. Okay. I got distracted because I had done some reading electronically, so I was looking up my history for that so that I could put that in the reading journal. I'm trying to do that more frequently rather than like, at the end of 3 months. I'd have to scroll through so much. So anyway, so I got a couple of the titles down so that I can add them to my reading journal. Then I tried to take a quick look at Journal Say, the website that I get most of the really cute stickers that I have been getting. But I know that most of them, I think, are coming from China. So I'm not entirely sure when exactly tariffs are going to happen, if they're going to happen, which they likely are. Because I think I remember hearing that they had been delayed again or pushed back again. So it's like I need to take a look at their shipping policy and see if they say anything about tariffs. Because buying cheap stickers is kind of defeated if you have to pay the tariff of like a flat $80 rate, and I'm like, I really don't want to pay that much for stickers. So I have to see if they are doing anything in regards to information about the potential tariffs. So I'm not real sure. Yeah, they're delayed. Yeah, they've been delayed another 90 days. Yeah, but it's like, I know some of the small businesses are going ahead and putting up like, informational banners or whatever of like, we're going to try as long as we can, but just so you know, if the tariffs go into place, you potentially might be paying for tariffs. So yeah. But it's like, it's something to consider because a lot of things that we buy now are from China, or like portions of it are made in China. And so it's like, it's hard to know when exactly that hammer is going to come down. So anyway, hello, welcome. I did get 477 words and some distraction in there. So, let's see. Stacy did make it to a rest stop, which is great. Kara says, any thoughts on how I can change up my character's narrative so it doesn't sound so much like an incident report? He's on his way to meet his new boss. He's thinking about his impressions of the man. So I was trying to, it's like, usually we base our impressions on either how they treat us, or who they remind us of, and our experiences with whoever that they remind us of. And so your character could be trying to figure out like, oh, who is he? He seems familiar. Why does he seem familiar? Who does he look like? And and why exactly is it that this person is reminding me of them? So like if there's a sketchy mechanic and they're sort of like using the same kind of language to gaslight you, that might be why. Or if wholesome uncle, like always got like the same kind of nice smile, welcoming attitude type thing. So it's like, who do they remind you of, and what kind of experiences? Like, why is that reminder there? What kind of flag is your character seeing? Green, green, yellow, or red? So, Monique says, "Oh boy, that has popped up about 1,000 times." Yeah, yeah. It's a very frequent flyer for me. But you're trying to see how the word that fits into the context. Yeah, because it is occasionally necessary. Occasionally. Heather is here. Hello. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Sam wrote about half of your Substack post. Nice. Excellent. Get that admin stuff done. Feels great. Carla says, I forgot to tell y'all that the third Cat Shifter book is up. Here's the Amazon link. Excellent. Thank you. And your flash fiction story is up on Substack as well. So here is the Substack for Carla for the pen name TC Cardella or Teresa Cardella. Stays like, glad to have made it to the rest stop. Yes. Carla's excited to see Heather. Kara says, I wish my bladder didn't rule my life quite as much as it does. You tend to dehydrate yourself whenever you have to leave your little town and drive the 50 plus miles to one of the closer cities. Yeah, which is understandable because, yeah, I get it. I do. Because I forgot one time when I went to go see Bestie, this was before she had the baby, and we were meeting up with friends. And so the drive to her place is technically like an hour 45. It usually takes me close to 2 hours because bathroom break. But that one time I forgot that I was driving so far, and I was like, let me just hydrate my usual amount plus a little bit extra because it's hot. I got in the car. I wound up stopping, I think, 4 times because I had been that hydrated. I was like, this is ridiculous. Now I remember why I don't drink anything before I drive. Heather says, I need to take a look at my Substack today. I've been working on social media things so far after running an errand this morning. But hey, it's a Monday. You're getting all the things done, which is great. Kara says, I got about 210 words. I think I'll just write the incident report and figure out the rewording later. Gotcha. Heather says hi to Carla. Carla says, I just rewrote the prologue, which you don't normally do during that sprint. Nice. Sam's got to run to set up your stream. Almost lost track of time. Oh no. His impressions are positive. Good. We like a positive character. Heather is wrapping up a post with your schedule this week. Kara says that is one of your frequent flyers as well. Yes. Yes, it is. Ooh, Stacy's going to be home in under 2 hours. Nice. I bet you'll be very glad to get home. All right. I know it's 3 o'clock, but let's do another sprint. Let's go back to the red panda because it's new and cute. Yeah. All right. Here we go. 1, save your document. 2, take a sip. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4 is if you need a break, take a break. So here we go. 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, how do we do? Just lost the marker I wanted to use. Oh, no, I didn't. It's right there. How are we doing? How are we doing? I may be doing something kind of useless. I'm not real sure. I'm trying it out. I decided that I needed an additional sort of like visual helper, I guess, for the reading journal, because I went ahead and added the pages for the books that I've been reading this month. But like I need an added visual for like the monthly situation. So I'm going and coloring the edge, not like the whole edge, but just the edge for, because I did that for February of this year, I think, and I decided I kind of like it. So now that I've done the others, like it's kind of hard to see there, but yeah, so I may do that. And at some point I may decide to do the whole. It's a little hard to do. I guess it's creating my own little sprayed edge, but but not kind of, sort of, but not really. Um, so, and that way I have sort of like a visual clue as to which ones I'm reading more. Um, I don't know if that's going to work or not. I don't know. We'll see. This is only my second year like keeping a reading journal, and as you can see, like I didn't use the full shebang during 2024. I used, how many pages did I even use? I don't know. I used like 74 or 75 pages, and that included the front setup. So, and this is one of those that's like 190 pages. So, I did not use as much as I could have the first year. So I don't know. We'll just see. That's the whole thing about customizing your journal, is that you can kind of do whatever you want. Okay, let's see. Kara says you've subscribed to Carla's Substack. Sorry that it's just as a free subscriber. Wish you could afford to have paid a subscription to everybody's Substack. Yeah. It'd be nice to be able to support everybody, but unfortunately, you can't. That's one of the reasons why the free tier exists, which is very nice. Heather says to Stacy, since you'll be getting back early enough, you're going to take Monster to her Meet the Teach night. Karma's just started. Oh, Karma's Meet the Teachers time slots just started, so that one's out of the question. Carla says to Stacy, getting home after a trip always feels really good. Yeah. It will feel nice to be home, but it's going to be a busy evening. You're going to be taking Monster to school. Hubby will be fixing the fridge, picking up the dog, starting the laundry, or at least those are his chores tonight. But husband is cutting more time off the drive, so you may have 2 school events to make. If y'all can get it home in time, that would be nice. But also try not to push yourself to the point of exhaustion. Carla says the prologue is better. Excellent. But you're still trying to deal with some of the info dumpy nature of it. Yeah. Because prologues are info dumpy. Quite often they are. Yes. But you don't want it to feel info dumpy. Yes, it makes perfect sense. Yeah. I'm trying to think. There was one, I keep coming back to Nalini Singh because she's got some really great elements to her like paranormal romances. And I feel like one of her quote unquote prologues was kind of like an internal report on the psychic side of humans, the evolutionary side of that. So it was more of like an internal report to the council rather than like, and then, this historical, long-winded thing. So it was much more concise, to the point, but it was an interesting way to do the like prologue, I thought. And I thought it was very well done. So you may consider something like that. I'm not real sure if you've ever read some of Nalini Singh's stories, or if that sort of like internal report would serve in the context of your story. Carla says thank you to Kara for the sub. Andy is here reporting for Dawdling. Excellent. Just in time for us to finish the poll. So yes, that was our third sprint. So in terms of our character is running late to a meeting. Why? Why is our character late? We have a relatively clear winner. We have 40% of our main characters were saving the city or world, or saving somebody. 31% were, stuck in traffic, had a little bit of an accident, something happened. 18% had a meet cute in the coffee shop. 9% had kids who had meltdowns that they had to deal with. So that's how our characters have resolved why they were late. It's like, oh, we were saving the world. Oh, traffic was bad. Ran into this really cute person at the coffee shop. Kid had temper tantrum. So that's how it goes. Let's see. Wednesdays. Where is it? Wednesdays is going to be about a rumor about your main character. So rumor is going around, and we have to figure out what's the rumor. So that's Wednesday's show, though. For now, don't forget to save your document or documents. Make sure that you stay hydrated this afternoon / evening / whatever time zone you're in. And Stacey's like, my prologue is so short, I think even Kate Kavanaugh would read it. Nice. Excellent. All right. So thank you again for joining me. Hopefully. Oh, I did get to 1,000 words. Got 1,065 words, which is great. So yay. Progress. But don't forget to save. Don't forget to have some fun. Maybe some lasagna for this Monday night in honor of Garfield. All right. Again, thank you very much, and I will hopefully see y'all soon. Bye.